so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. First, I want to start out in news from Pamlico County, where a topping off ceremony is taking place. The ceremony this afternoon marked the placement of the last beam at the new 6 through 12 school in Bayboro. That's 6th grade 6 through 12 school. Now, members of the first class to graduate from the new school all signed the beam before it was hoisted into place. The building will replace the existing high school that was built in the 1950s, as well as the middle school, which has flooded twice during hurricanes. Now, the middle school property will be sold, while part of the existing high school will be kept for a culinary arts lab, JROTC, and the auditorium. All but $3.7 million of the cost of the new facility is coming from needs-based grants, according to the school system. Big congratulations to everybody who worked on that project. And now we need to turn our attention to the emergency landing that needed to happen in Minneapolis-St. Paul due to a Delta flight experiencing severe turbulence. NBC's Adrian Brodus has more.
Hey there, some scary moments for passengers on Delta Flight 56 from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam. Severe turbulence caused the plane to be diverted to Minneapolis Wednesday night. It landed safely around 7:50 local time. The Airbus A330 was met by a massive emergency response after the rough flight left dozens of people needing medical attention. Passengers posting online about their experiences. Delta Airlines releasing a statement saying in part, quote, 25 of those on board were transported to local hospitals for evaluation and care. Meanwhile, no word on the conditions of the people who were hurt. And it's also clear if all of the people who were injured were passengers or if members of the crew were among those who were hurt. Nevertheless, the plane was able to land safely. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adrian, for that report. We now turn our attention to your forecast, where today we've had more cloud cover over eastern North Carolina than what we've seen over the past several days. We've also again seen some more rain showers through the middle of the day, not necessarily heat generated showers, as we've got a weak surface low passing by, and that's reason not only in cloud cover, but even a chance of a few spotty showers every now and then. Now, the raindrops that we had been tracking back towards Raleigh, those have continued to inch their way eastward, but as they've done so, they've run into some drier air and have since kind of fallen apart. We are still, again, keeping an eye on that little system. We've got a few showers kind of make their way into Nash and Wilson counties. It's going to be a while before Rocky Mount sees any drops out of that. Wilson, you may see a few drops, but probably not a whole lot. Now, later on this evening, we will see more showers roll in. We've got the cold front that'll be dipping down across eastern North Carolina tonight and then parking itself near the coast as we head through your Friday and Saturday. And it's that parking near the coast that is the problem. That, if you're a cold front, that is. Now, it will lead to a better opportunity for regenerative rain showers through your Friday and into your Saturday. Particularly, the closer you get to the front, the closer you get to, again, those consistently developing rain showers. So as we head through your Friday night, for those of you watching south of Highway 264, you're looking again at a pretty good chance of rain through Friday evening. And that's pretty much most, if not all, of Friday evening. And then we get into your Saturday morning. There will still again be some showers present as that whole system slowly tries to work its way south of the area. It's going to take a little bit longer than I'm sure what many of you may want, but the fact that we are still getting cooler than average air temperatures by a pretty wide margin should have you smiling and should have you again be thankful for the break in the heat that we are seeing. Right now, air temperatures ranging from the mid 80s all the way to the low 90s. We've got 90 degrees through Ahoskie, Edenton, Plymouth, as well as Roanoke Rapids. Right now, 91 currently in Windsor as well as Swan Quarter. Washington coming in at 89 degrees along with Rocky Mount as well as Elizabeth City. On the coast, 86 degrees in Manio, 88 in Hatteras, 83 in Beaufort. But those are your air temperatures. Here's what it truly feels like outside. And the big problem is, while our air temperatures are cooler than where they were yesterday, it still feels like we are in the triple digits. And the big reason why, this right here. We have seen humidity come up through eastern North Carolina over the past 24 hours. Yeah, we've cooled down, but with humidity rising, that kind of undoes all of that progress we've made with our air temperatures. Now, this problem handled again as that cold front moves through, but right now we've got dew points reading in the upper 70s to low 80s across a good portion of eastern North Carolina, and that right there is why it still feels like we are in the triple digits. That's why, again, the heat index hasn't really adjusted. But here's what we've got over the weekend. Again, cooler air. You can see it drifting down into eastern North Carolina, even South Carolina. Even South Carolina, getting some relief from the humidity. So if our neighbors to the south are seeing relief, we're very confident that we will be experiencing it as well. That is something, again, we can hang our hats on in the Weather Center and say, all right, we did good today. We did good today. Anytime we can knock the humidity down through the early portion of August, that's a good time. Now, the area of low pressure that's been over us today, that's going to continue to fade as it works its way out into the Atlantic, only to be replaced again by that frontal boundary. Now, watch. Here's Friday morning. And again, that front sitting south of most of eastern North Carolina. The problem is that we've got that area of low pressure further back towards the west-northwest, and that low is going to scoot its way closer to eastern North Carolina. That low is going to, again, be kind of a magnet for not only rain showers and cloud cover, but humidity as well. So as it gets closer, we're not going to see the same sort of adjustment that we would want to see with the promise of, again, cooler and drier air rolling into eastern North Carolina. But as that low drifts southward towards Hilton Head Island, that's when we really start to feel the difference. So for your Friday, we will start out very humid, and then we'll slowly see that humidity fall, more so Friday evening to Friday night than through the day Friday. However, we will see some adjustments there on Friday. Then Saturday, similar story. We'll start out with a little bit more humidity in the morning than what we'll have in, say, the afternoon and evening. But this will all set up Sunday to be a very comfortable day, starting out with overnight lows and, well, really morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the low 80s, with just a 20% chance of rain. Now, yeah, it's going to be windy out there, and we will certainly see partly to mostly cloudy skies. But we will take it, again, for that type of humidity forecast. Now, the humidity and the heat will gradually work its way back into the east through next week, but overall, we're not seeing any sort of 90-degree heat readings until we potentially get to the following Friday. That's all we have time for today's 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.